Thursday, November 16th, 2017, Monaco 64, home of alternative economics and contrarian views. So I'm going to look at the markets as usual this morning. It's around 9:20 a.m. London time. And I also want to look at monetary manipulation and talk about silver, Bitcoin, cryptocurrencies in general. And what I think is going on. I think very difficult for the layman to know what is really going on. And I consider myself one of those. You need to be really top up there, in the movers and shakers of the world to know what the end game is and what they're really looking to do in terms of how the world operates. I think it's very confusing. So let's start with the markets. Spot gold, 1277.25. Range has been 1275 to 1280 this morning. Frustrating day again yesterday. Gold got up to almost 1290 and then it just fizzled lower. Not as sharply as it had the other day when they attacked the gold price after the PM fix in London. Yesterday it took a little longer, but it still had the same impact. Silver is holding quite well this morning. Is at 1703, up 4 cents. So the range has been 1695 to 1707. So not much happening in the metals. I've noticed that since the 27th of October, we've had, in the short-term charts, gold is looking fairly positive, going, up, making higher highs and higher lows off the, the low was around 1263 at that time. Before that, the recent low around 1260, 1263. So we are gradually moving up. It's not exploding higher, but it's holding on steady. The Dow today is up 70 right now. Dow futures 23,345. It's been up as much as about 85. S&P is up 9. So we're up about 1/3% in the stock market. The NASDAQ is up 25. NASDAQ futures up 0.4% at 6283. So stock markets seem to be rebounding yesterday. Volatility has kept going up. I said that a few days ago I bought into this TVIX ETF. I actually got out of it over the last 2 days, yesterday and the day before. I did make a fairly good profit on it. I think I made about 6% on what I put in. I didn't put huge amounts just to see how the market is doing. Maybe I will be buying it again if the stock market rebounds and volatility drops off again. That could be an interesting trade to do. But at least, took the profit. A lot of times, even I, and I think a lot of people, they run, they don't take profit. They keep waiting for more and more. And then they, and then it turns around and, they lose it. And they ride their losses more. So maybe I didn't ride as much but I think over 2-3 days to make 6% wasn't too bad. What else? Currencies. Dollar a little stronger this morning against the yen. It's rebounded. It's 113.20, up 32 pips, almost 1/3%. Sterling is a little weaker and the euro is a little weaker, even though the euro has rebounded quite well recently, but only 0.1% each of those currencies. So not much happening there, except for the little bit of strength against the yen, which isn't really affecting the price of gold that much. And yesterday was it seems that relationship between dollar, yen, and gold is kind of breaking down, I think, because yesterday we had a fairly strong Japanese yen or weak dollar, and Gold still corrected down, even though the dollar was even weaker earlier on and it rebounded against the yen. But we're still down about 30 or 50 pips, and gold was unchanged on the day. And today, the dollar is up now about 30 pips, and gold is basically unchanged. So maybe that's a signal that something's happening there. What else? In terms of other trades, just to let you know a little more what I've done, and this is just to give you an idea, is not to advise you to do it or anything. You need to be your own person or own man or woman, so to speak, and just follow the markets. That's what I do. Sometimes when I see an opportunity, I might take it. Like yesterday, I bought into GE, and I know GE has dropped a lot lately. They've cut their dividend in half, but I thought, I looked at the chart and I said, wow, this looks pretty, even short-term and longer-term looks really oversold. GE is one of the most famous companies in the world. It's been around since 1892, blue chip. Even after cutting their dividend in half, I bought some and already made some money yesterday. I bought below $18. It's got a 2.67 dividend yield. It's better than 10-year notes and better than Japanese government bonds or German government bonds. And I didn't buy that much, bought some of, some few hundred shares. We'll see what happens today. I might, if I make a tidy profit, I'll just get out. That's how it goes. You just have to keep an eye out for things like that when you see markets overdoing, in my opinion. Am I saying that GE is gonna do really well in the future? I don't know. This is just like a little speculative position. So back to monetary manipulation. And why am I talking about this? Well, because there's a lot of debate on what Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies, what it's all about. I think the biggest red flag for me is that we don't really know who created Bitcoin. It's like a mystery. They talk about Satoshi Nakamoto, who was supposedly a Japanese programmer who created it, but we don't know who he is. There's a few people who have come out and said that they were Satoshi Nakamoto. I think it was an Australian guy. So am I saying that I believe there's something sinister behind Bitcoin cryptocurrencies? Maybe, but I can't tell you definitively. I've listened to a few videos that, some viewers sent me a link about artificial intelligence, and some people believe that the cryptocurrencies and all the ICOs, a lot of it is, the powers that be trying to develop a protocol for a digital world, and they're doing this through a way in which people don't realize that they're actually being used. That could be true, I don't know, or maybe cryptocurrencies and the blockchain, the digitalization, added artificial intelligence. Maybe that's all grassroots, but we'll have to wait and see. And monetary manipulation. And why do I say that? Well, because I think the powers that be could be moving us to, like Aaron Russo said in his interview with Alex Jones years ago. Aaron Russo directed, the Trading Places. He died a few years ago. And he did a documentary, which I watched, America from Freedom to Fascism. And he talks about his friendship with one of the Rockefellers. I think it was Lawrence Rockefeller or Nicholas Rockefeller. I'm not sure. And this Rockefeller even wanted him to join the CFR. And he said that the objective of the bankers and the elites is to eventually have everyone chipped and controlled. Everyone will be, digitally controlled by chips, or maybe not even chips, maybe our mobile phones. So it's interesting. So these people are very clever, and they'll go through any lengths to disguise their actions. So I want to talk about this monetary manipulation, and it's in regards to this book here, Pawns in the Game, by William Guy Carr. William Guy Carr, he was commander in the Royal Canadian Navy. He was born in 1895 and he died in 1959. And he talks about in chapter 6 of this book about monetary manipulation. He says, when the Rothschilds obtained control of the Bank of England following Nathan's spectacular financial killing in 1815, he and his associates insisted that gold be made the only base for the issuance of paper money. In 1870, the European bankers experienced a little annoyance in their control system due to the fact that in America a considerable amount of silver coin was used. So this has got to do with the Coinage Act of 1873, which a lot of people call the great crime of 1973, or the great crime of 73. And he goes through how the European international bankers actually sent an advisor to help Congress, draw up this Coinage Act. It says here, the European international bankers sent Ernest Sade over to America and placed at his disposal in American banks $500,000, a lot of money back then, with which to bribe key members of the American legislature. In 1873, at the instigation of the bankers, their agents introduced a bill, innocently named a Bill to Reform Coinage and Mint Laws. It was cleverly drafted. Many pages of writing concealed the real purpose of the bill. The bill was sponsored by none other than Senator John Sherman, whose letter to the House of Rothschild has already been referred to. Sherman was supported by Congressman Samuel Hooper. After Senator Sherman gave a very plausible but misleading report regarding the purpose of a bill, it was passed without dissenting vote. So, and it goes on to say, 3 years passed before the full import of the bill began to be realized. And there's a part of the book here, of this part of this chapter. It says here later on, Congressman Samuel Hooper introduced the bill in the House on April 9th, 1872. He is recorded as saying, and I quote, Mr. Ernest Sade of London, a distinguished writer, has given great attention to the subject of mints and coinage. After explaining the first draft of the bill, he furnished many valuable suggestions which have been incorporated in the bill. So, let's see here. There's there's a part of this chapter where, later on, this guy Ernest Sade is talking to someone and actually says that, that he got exactly what he wanted from the bill. And yeah, and Wikipedia says here, the Coinage Act of 1873, or Mint Act, was a general revision of the laws relating to the mint to the United States in abolishing the rights of holders of silver bullion to have their metal struck into fully legal $10 coins. It ended bimetallism in the United States, placing the nation firmly on the gold standard. Am I saying I'm against gold now? No, but it just goes to show that they move the United States away from a silver standard to a gold standard. And they did it in a really sneaky manner. So that's what I'm saying. Cryptocurrencies, you know, is this the sneaky fashion with which the, you know, international bankers move? It could be, you know, and then you get Jamie Dimon coming out saying it's a fraud. Maybe he's just like trying to detract attention from the fact that maybe they are involved in this. Am I saying that you need to sell your Bitcoin or whatever cryptocurrency you have? No. Am I saying we need to stop following cryptocurrencies? No. But I just want to make people aware that there might be something more to it than just a grassroots development here. So I know this will probably be controversial. Anyway, so the great crime of 73. Maybe this is going to be the great crime of 2018. I don't know. It could be even later. If you enjoyed this video, please like, share, subscribe to my channel if you haven't yet. And you can also follow me on steemit.com and on Twitter. And I'll talk to you later. Bye.